basketball court, nevertheless, in street clothes, talking to Kevin Durant while holding his mouth. What did I tell y'all about LeBron James and that narrative? What did I tell y'all about LeBron James and narratives? And now you got Kevin Durant and others following suit. I'm not criticizing them. It's fine. I'm just telling you what it is. You really think LeBron James and Kevin Durant both have homes in LA. LeBron James and Kevin Durant both have each other's cell phone numbers. Remember when Kevin Durant said something about LeBron being a teammate of his, potentially being toxic, and how LeBron confessed to our very own Rachel Nichols that he was somewhat put off and offended by what he said? But then they got on the phone and spoke about it. So if they got on the phone and spoke about it, that means they can get on the phone with each other anytime they wanted to, right? Which is exactly what they can do. So why the hell are you talking in front of the cameras with your mouths closed at that particular moment in time? You know why? Because you're trying to garner attention and bring attention to yourself for whatever reason that may be. This is what I mean. One of the things that I mean about LeBron, his insatiable appetite to control the narrative. You ain't playing anymore this season. You need rest. You missed 18 games. The groin injury. You came back, reminded us of your greatness, but Magic Johnson and the Lakers have elected to sit you down. Why would you feel the need to talk on a basketball court? You know why? Because you want the damn attention. That's why. You want people talking about you. That's why. You want your Instagram and Twitter and Facebook followers built and proliferated even more. That's why. That's all I'm saying. There's no criming that. I wish I had more followers. There's no criming it. There's no crime in it at all. But don't deny it if somebody asked you. There's no reason for them to be on the court talking with the cameras zeroed in on them unless they wanted the damn attention. Well, if that's what you wanted, don't whine, moan, and you know what, when you get the attention that you clearly craved. Now, as for them playing together in LA, people are ruling that out. They can't see it. Me neither, but only because I don't see Kevin Durant trying to help LeBron James win more titles. I think Kevin Durant would prefer to go someplace else so he could win more titles than LeBron. That's me. But would I completely rule it out? No. I think a lot of these cats want to live in Southern California. I think the thought of Durant with LeBron would be spectacular. I think that's instant title contention. I think if you're Kevin Durant and you're going to leave the Splash Brothers and go to State, why wouldn't you want to go to L.A.? If you're Kevin Durant, who would you rather play with, Kyrie Irving or LeBron? Who should you rather play with, Kyrie Irving or LeBron? And so Kevin Durant, leaving all his options open. This is what we're talking about. And whether or not that materializes into something remains to be seen. It really, really does. But I wouldn't rule it out. I'll tell you this much, though. In terms of pressure, and who has the most pressure on them, in terms of making sure talent comes to L.A., once upon a time, I would have said LeBron. But after the season the Lakers have had, I'm going to put that onus on Earvin Magic Johnson. Ladies and gentlemen, let me be very, very clear about what I'm about to say. Magic Johnson's Magic Johnson. He's one of the rare individuals in the history of sports who deserves to be deified. He's that special. This has not been a good year. The Lakers in the second half of this season have been an unmitigated disaster. Period. And it falls on Magic Johnson. If you want to say it falls on Jeanie Buss, I would say to you, is for this reason and this reason only. That Rob Pelinka is there. Because obviously they had a relationship before Magic Johnson took over. And some believe that Jeanie Buss has everything to do with Rob Pelinka being there. I don't know whether that's true or not. I'm only telling you what people say. Here's my issue. I think Rob Pelinka, there's a lot of jealousy out there. There's a lot of envy out there. You got people out there who want him to do badly. They don't like him. They didn't like him when he was an agent. They don't like him now that he's in the GM's position. They talk to him because they have to or because it's proper decorum to some degree, but they don't particularly like him. But it is fair to say, in fairness to him, that a lot of that might have to do with jealousy. When you have an iconic figure in the sports world like Kobe Bryant absolutely positively swearing by Rob Pelinka and what he means to basketball and how brilliant of a basketball mind he is, You got to pay attention to that because Kobe would know a thing or two about that. There's very few people on the planet he trusts more than Rob Pelinka. So that's important to point out. It's important to point out that Kobe Bryant is not the only talent that Rob Pelinka has represented. And there's plenty of guys that may be jealous or may have been in the past jealous or envious of the cachet that Rob Pelinka had and the job that he did, for all we know. And that might play a role in him being excoriated by some, clearly behind his back. But what's undeniable is that the combination of Magic and Rob Pelinka needs to be elevated. There needs to be somebody in the mix. You got Andy Ellsberg in Miami. There's Pat Riley and Eric Spoelstra. But you got a guy like Andy Ellsberg that monitors the cap and brings a lot of ideas to Pat Riley. And that can't be ignored. It truly cannot. I think that is incredibly, incredibly important. That's where I'm at with it. You look at a guy in Cleveland, Brock Aller, Aller. He was a personal assistant for Dan Gilbert for a decade, but then got elevated within basketball operations. He's done a hell of a job. And when you look at what he brings to the table, I don't think it's deniable that he could end up being an asset to the Los Angeles Lakers. And that's something that needs to happen as well. He's considered one of the best cap guys in the business by some. There's always somebody associated with a team that's unheard of, unsung. That's who the Lakers need. Rob Pelinka is a novice at a GM position. Magic Johnson is a novice as president of basketball operations. Those are not negative connotations. It just speaks to the fact that they both just started on the job. This is their second season. Magic Johnson, but to talk about this guy like, oh, so you got some executive out there talking about how Magic Johnson has ruined the Lakers. I'm sorry, what the hell were the Lakers before he got there? You were saddled with Timothy Mozgov and Luol Deng's contracts. Magic Johnson got LeBron James. Before that, he drafted Kyle Kuzma. Lonzo Ball's not a scrub. He just needs to be more assertive, more aggressive, and not be distracted by family issues, which has nothing to do with Magic. I think it's important to point those things out. I think it's important to recognize that. Because I'm here to tell you something right now. Magic didn't do a great job this year. I'll be the first to tell you that. But the jury is still out. The door isn't closed. The book isn't closed on Magic Johnson and Rob Pelinka. It's not like things can't be corrected. Lakers have cap space. They've got draft picks coming up. And we're talking about really acquiring somebody in free agency in order to be a title contender. And maybe Rick Buch is right. Maybe Kevin Durant is a done deal to go to the Knicks. All I'm saying to you is that I'm in no position to definitively say that. I've had plenty of people who have told me that, but I don't know that. Because Kevin Durant hasn't admitted that, and the people close to him deny that it's a done deal. Now, they could be lying. I don't know. And I don't particularly care. And if I recall my boy Champ in Detroit, if I recall him correctly, I think he's been telling me Kevin Durant's been a done deal in New York. Champ, if I misquote you, I apologize, but I think you said that to me. I don't know. You got people on the street. You got people in the NBA community. You got people in the hip-hop community because of Rock Nation and others, their affiliation with that, telling me it's a done deal as well. I don't know that. I don't know that. And the reason I don't know that, I'm going to tell you honestly. And I never wanted to say this because I think it's disrespectful to Kevin Durant. So if Kevin Durant's listening, I want to sit up there and tell you, I never said this, nor do I believe this. But I got to quote what somebody said about Kevin Durant. Man, it ain't done until it's done. He's an emotional dude. That man might swear he's going to sign with the Knicks and get emotional right before the press conference and change his mind. That's what they said. Now, I don't know that to be true. And I don't know how they were trying to say that because it was via text as opposed to their voice. And I got mad respect for Kevin Durant. We know how I felt about him going to Golden State, but that's me being an old school basketball kind of guy, not wanting you to jump on the wagon. But this brother's arguably the best player in basketball. This brother's elite. He's big time. And I'm not going to talk about him like that. So we'll see what happens. 888-SAY-ESPN. It's 888-729-3776. You're listening live to the Stephen A. Smith Show, ESPN Radio, ESPN News. By the way, I'll get into Mike McCarthy and Aaron Rodgers. My God, has that gotten ugly. There's a lot of stuff to be said about that as well. So don't miss it. I got to get into some of that as well. Plus, I get into Giannis and Joel Embiid and the whole Eastern Conference playoff picture, particularly now that the Milwaukee Bucks have clinched the #1 seed. But not before I get to your phone calls at 888-SAY-ESPN. That's 888-729-3776. That was Straight Talk Wireless. Nationwide coverage on America's largest and most dependable 4G LTE networks. You are listening live to the Stephen A. Smith Show, ESPN Radio. Back to your calls, or to your calls in just a second. By the way, though, hey, fellas, stop lounging around, please. Be active. Take your girl out. Go to a game or a concert. Get tickets to something. Plus, the NBA playoff season is almost here, and the time is now to jump on those tickets. For all your ticket needs, look no further than Vivid Seats, the official ticket partner of ESPN. Go to vividseats.com and enter promo code ESPN to get 10% off your first order. Get out, go have an experience, fellas. Get to the game and use Vivid Seats. Don't just buy any seat, get a Vivid seat. 888-SAY-ESPN, that is the number to call. You're listening live to Stephen A. ESPN Radio, ESPN News. The Stephen A. Smith Show is being brought